Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Today is Thursday, June the 27th. My name is Judge Esparza. We have some writ hearings scheduled for this afternoon. The defendants are in the courtroom. We do not have a court reporter. If you're requesting a court reporter, your case will be reset for a later date. Who's here for the state? Michelle, Beltran?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good. It's nice to be in this court. First time.
All right, welcome. The first case we're going to call Lily. Are you there, Lily Gutierrez?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay, good afternoon. First case we're going to call is C 2852-24-F, State of Texas versus Anacleto Diaz. Mr. Diaz is present. No hablas inglés, ¿verdad? Se para aquí enfrente, por favor. He is Spanish speaking. All I ask is that you go slow, Ms. Gutierrez, so that our translator can interpret for the court to your client. Move over a little bit more to the left. Right there's good. Okay. You may proceed.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Lily Gutierrez on behalf of Mr. Anacleto Dominguez Diaz. Your Honor, we're here this afternoon because we're asking that Mr. Diaz's bond that is currently set at $20,000 be reduced. Mr. Diaz has two prior misdemeanors, DWIs, I believe is both his prior misdemeanors. This is his first. Actually, this would be his second felony. He had a felony back in 2018 that was dismissed.
Okay.
He does not have status in the United States. However, I am not aware of an ICE hold. I will defer to the state on that.
He does have an ICE hold.
He does. Okay.
Yeah, it was filed
we
on
are-
the 14th.
Okay. I believe that $20,000 is too high, and his family is unable to come up with money to bond him out at that amount. So we're asking for a reduction, Your Honor, of to $2,500 as surety.
What says the state?
Your Honor, the state's position is that no reduction be granted at this time due to the defendant's ICE hold.
Raise your right hand, sir. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
State your name. How old are you? 45? What city do you live in? How long have you lived in Mission, Texas?
17 years.
Are you married?
Yes.
You have children? How old are they?
12 and 2.
You have a job, sir?
Yes.
Where do you work?
Construction worker.
How long have you been doing that type of work?
17 years.
I'm gonna reduce the bond to $3,000 cash surety. Sir, if you make bond, you need to stay in contact with your attorney. Do you understand that? You're gonna have to show up at the courthouse at a later time to take care of this case. Do you understand? Anything else, Lily?
Not on this case, Your Honor.
Okay. Bond will be reduced to $3,000 cash surety. You can have a seat. Toma asiento, señor. Lily, I think you have one more, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Gonna call C 2851-24-L, State of Texas versus George Morales. You speak English, correct, Mr. Morales? Morales is present. He is English speaking. Ms. Gutierrez, this is your motion. You may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Lily Gutierrez on behalf of Mr. Morales. Your Honor, we filed this writ. He is currently being held for possession of controlled substance. He has a $2,000 bond. However, we also wanted to get some further information because my client, who is a U.S. citizen, just got out of prison 2 weeks ago. He had pled to 8 months state jail for 3 felonies that are of the same charge. He did not pick up a new charge. He was picked up he was approached by law enforcement for public intoxication. And so we're not even certain that this is a legitimate charge. Obviously, the state can shed some light on this case, but we are asking for a PR bond, Your Honor.
According to the complaint, it was a PI, but they found a substance in his wallet when he was taken into custody. That's the
Oh.
allegation. What says the state?
Your Honor, that's correct. The state's position regarding the bond reduction, we believe that $2,000 is reasonable for this case. This defendant does have a history. He has 9 arrests and 5 convictions. For that reason, Your Honor, the state believes that 2,000 cash surety is reasonable.
Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
State your name, please, and loud, please.
George Morales,
How old are you, sir?
35 years old.
You married?
No, sir.
You have children?
No, sir.
How long were you in custody? Not for this charge, but
6 months. 6 months.
were you working prior to that?
Yes, sir.
Where were you working?
At a Caveman Barbershop,
What city do you live in?
McAllen.
Who do you live with?
I live on the property with my father. He's letting me live in a trailer that he has.
You have the address, sir?
4317 North Benson Road, McAllen, Texas, 78504.
That where you receive mail?
Yes, sir.
A phone number, a working phone number?
I do not know if it's confiscated in the car, but 956-603-6401.
6401?
Yes, sir. 603-6401.
You make, well, I'm gonna order random UAs through probation. When you get out, probation will contact you to go in and get drug tested. If you don't show up, when they tell you to show up, we're gonna have a hearing, and you may end up back in jail. If you show up and you're positive for drugs or alcohol, you're gonna end up back in jail. Is that clear?
That is clear, sir. Thank you.
Bond will be reduced to $2,000 PR. You're gonna have to go to the courthouse at a later time to take care of this case. So it's important as soon as you get out to contact your attorney and stay in touch with her. You understand? If your address or your phone number changes, you need to notify your attorney. Is that clear?
That is clear, sir.
All right, good luck to you. Have a seat.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have nothing further before this honorable court. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, you too.
Next case we're gonna call is C 2860-24-I, State of Texas versus Carla Arza, Tracy Evans. I think you're like, I saw you in there. There you are.
Yes,
Uh,
Judge.
Mrs. Esparza, do you speak English? Okay. We're not related in any way, as far as you know?
I hope so, but don't know.
Okay. As far as we know, I don't think we're related. Tracy, you speak English, correct?
Yes.
Your client is English speaking. You may proceed.
Yes, Judge. She's there on one count of theft with a previous conviction, a state jail felony, Judge. Her bond is currently set at $20,000. She does have criminal history. However, it's mainly misdemeanors. There's a few felonies that are older that she had. she is a US citizen. She has resided in the Valley all her life. Most of these are petty thefts, Judge. On this one, the family did contact me, asking me to file for the reduction, Judge. At some point, she is homeless. However, I believe she has a place to stay at this point, Judge. We would be asking for a PR bond if the court is inclined, with whatever conditions the court wants to place on her.
All right. What says the state?
Your Honor, the state's position is okay with a 5,000 cash surety bond reduction based on her history.
Raise your right hand, ma'am. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir. Reyes Pasa,
How old are you, ma'am?
40 years old.
How old?
40?
You married?
No.
Children?
Yes, sir.
How old are they?
How old is it? 19, 17. And I got my 10, my 9, my 8, and my 5-year-old.
4 children?
6, so 2.
Sorry?
One passed away.
They live with you?
Now, so they live my
With who?
ex-mother
Where are you what city do you currently live in?
in Alabama, Texas.
Who do you live with?
So I'm staying right now with, the manager from Animal Birthday Acres. He's a friend. So go for the
How long have you been staying there?
I don't know what it is, but like, I've been on it for 3 years, but I'm always like, welcome. And I was arrested there at the space.
Do you have an address where you receive mail?
Yes, sir, right there.
What is that address?
It's 1513 West Crockett Street,
1513?
West Crockett Street, Alamo, Texas.
You'll receive a letter in the mail at some point that you need to report to the courthouse to take care of this case. Do you understand that? If you do not show up, they're gonna issue a warrant for you. You're gonna end up back in jail until your court date. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Also gonna order random UAs through probation. You have to make your way to the court, to the probation office whenever they call you to get drug tested. You don't show up, back in jail. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Do not go back to that location where you were arrested, which is I believe it was an HEB, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
That's correct, Judge.
In what city? It's in Alamo. Do not go back to that location. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
If I get a report that you're there, you're gonna end up back in jail. Is that clear? Bond will be reduced to $2,500 PR. With random UAs. Have a seat, ma'am. Make sure you comply.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes. Next case we're gonna call is C 2419-24-8, State of Texas versus Jose Miranda. No habla inglés, ¿verdad? He's Spanish speaking. Mr. Palacios, are you on the screen?
Good afternoon, Judge. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Your client is present. He does not speak English, so I just ask that you go a little slow so that everything can be translated to him.
You got it, Judge.
We proceed.
Your Honor, this is our second application for a writ of habeas corpus seeking a bond reduction. At this time, we didn't seek a probable cause hearing at this time. If the court recalls, this is a case where we had probably about 3 weeks ago where we were able to agree to a reduction down to 50,000. Judge, the issue has been any bond that's being required of him. All bond companies are wanting at least 50% deposit on a case like this. He has no criminal history. Facts in this case, Judge, it's a failure to stop and render aid. He was on his way to work. It happened about 5:30 in the morning. And I believe this individual was in the middle of the roadway. He struck somebody and he failed to stop is what they're alleging, Judge. And so someone did die as a result of that collision. Then a traffic infraction, or that he veered off the road, or he was intoxicated or anything like that, Judge, but because of the fact that he didn't stop, obviously he was arrested for this. The family has tried numerous companies to try to make bond. Other family members that were arrested with them, they were charged with a misdemeanor. They've made bond, and they've also made bond with immigration. And so this is a family that's trying to obviously stay in this country. They do have applications regarding immigration, but as to this case, he can't make bond because the amount of money that bail bond companies are requiring him to pay, which is pretty close to north of $25,000, Judge, up to $30,000, which in hindsight, it's like anybody else trying to make that with that amount, somebody would be making a bond of $300,000. We're not asking for a PR bond, Judge. We're not asking for $5,000, but they cannot make a $50,000 bond. Hoping to see if the court would consider, even if the court would consider $30,000. Again, they would have to come up with $15,000 plus a 10% fee, which is about $18,000 just to post bond, Judge. So that's where we're at today, and that's why we filed a writ, not realizing that the bond companies were going to be asking for this type of money to post bond.
What says the state?
Your Honor, the defendant is being charged with a collision involving death, which is a second-degree felony. This would be a second bond reduction, so the state would be asking the court not to reduce it any further. He also has an ICE hold, Your Honor. The defendant left the scene after the accident. He admitted to being the driver and to leaving the scene, leaving the deceased on the street, Your Honor.
Mr. Palacios, was an ICE hold placed on his family members also, you said?
Exactly, Judge. All ICE holds were placed on all family members. They all made bond, and they all made immigration bond, just because they're contesting a deportation also, Judge. None of the family members had any criminal history, and neither does this defendant before you have any criminal history whatsoever. We understand the situation, Judge, and I'm not disagreeing with the facts that the prosecutor stated. There was a death, there was a collision, but what they don't tell you was that my client was intoxicated or committed some traffic infraction that would have been an additional reason or cause for the accident, Judge. It was early in the morning hours at 5:30 while he was on his way to work.
Mr. Miranda, raise your right hand, please. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
If you make bond, sir, there's a very good possibility that immigration is gonna pick you up. Do you understand that? You may have to post another bond with that immigration court. Do you understand that? And if you are allowed to stay here, I don't recall, Mr. Palacios, if there was no alcohol involved, so I guess they didn't order an interlock device or any type of alcohol monitoring device, correct?
That's correct, Judge. Again, they would have charged him with intoxication manslaughter, but again, he was on his way to work. I believe he had somebody else with him as on his way to work, Judge. So it was in the early morning hours, and again, from visiting with the client, this was not something where he veered off the road or was driving on the shoulder or was any other contributing factor that would have caused this collision, Judge. But be as it may, obviously we have a charge because he did not stop. But for that, had he stopped, we probably wouldn't have been in this situation.
I'm gonna order a curfew from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. You need to be home. If you make bond and you're allowed to stay here in the U.S., you need to be home every night by 8 p.m. and not leave the house any earlier than 7 a.m. in the morning. If your work requires you to be out earlier, provide that information to your attorney. He can share it with the state and the court, and we'll reconsider the curfew. But at this time, the hours will be 8 p.m. to 7 a.m.
For what time to what time?
8 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning. You need to be at home. Do you understand that? You understand that? Bond will be reduced to $15,000 cash surety with the imposed curfew. You understand? Your bond will be reduced to $15,000 cash surety. You need to, your attorney will speak with you or your family to address that matter at some point. Anything else, Mr. Palacios?
That's all we have, Judge. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Mr. Sully, are you there?
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm here.
Good afternoon. We're gonna call C 2708-24-E, State of Texas versus Veronica Pedraza. You speak English, Ms. Pedraza? You go ahead and stand up here in the middle of the room. Good to see you, Mr. Sully.
Good to see you too, Your Honor. How are you doing?
Doing well. Your client is present. She does speak English. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I was appointed to represent Ms. Pedraza, Your Honor. She was found to be indigent by the court. She was unemployed at the time that she was arrested. She has 2 bonds for manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance of $25,000 each, for a total of $50,000, which is beyond her means, Your Honor, and she's been detained since June 1st of this year, Your Honor.
Your client at USC?
I'm not sure, Your Honor, but I don't have any notes about any holds or issues, Your Honor, but I'm not 100% sure.
All right. What says the state?
Your Honor, the state would be okay with to reduce the bonds to PR bonds on both counts.
Any opposition?
Not at all, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you speak English, correct?
Yes, sir.
Hold up, state your name.
Veronica Pedraza.
Raise your right hand, I'm sorry. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? State your name.
Veronica Pedraza,
How old are you, ma'am?
45.
What city do you currently live in?
Edinburgh, Texas.
What address?
19 Western Drive, Edinburgh, Texas.
Western Drive? You're going to be released, ma'am, on a personal recognizance bond, which is a promise to appear at a later date. Make sure if your address or your phone number changes, you notify your attorney. The state will send a letter to your address that you provided here when you need to show up for court. If you do not show up, it will issue a warrant for your arrest. Is that understood? I'm going to also order random UAs through probation. You'll need to go in and get drug tested whenever they advise you to go in. Is that clear? Bond will be reduced. Did you give me an amount, Michelle?
25,000, Your Honor?
PR?
Yes, Your Honor.
We'll reduce it to $5,000 PR on each count. You should be released sometime tonight. You understand? Stay in contact with your attorney.
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you. Have a seat.
Thank you,
Mr.
Your Honor,
Sully.
and thanks, Ms. Petran. Your Honor, can I just confirm her number for when she gets out? I have a number ending in 3275. I'm not sure if that was the number that she gave.
What is your phone number, ma'am? Do you have a cell number?
Yes, 956-578-2757.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms.
All right.
Pedraza.
Next case we're gonna call is C 2943-24-C, State of Texas versus Christina Reyna. Mr. Nitz with the Public Defender's Office is present. You speak English, Ms. Reyna?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right there is fine. You can stay right there. I think we can see you on the screen. Mr. Nitz?
Yes,
Client
good
is
afternoon.
present. Good afternoon. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, at this time, I'd request a brief continuance for purposes of confirming personal information on my client.
You want to reset it?
Yes,
Next
Judge.
available date will be Monday.
That'd be fine, Judge. Monday'd be great.
Your attorney, ma'am, is requesting to reset your case until Monday at the same time at 2 o'clock. You understand? And then see, case will be reset to, what's Monday?
The first.
July the 1st. At 2 p.m. We'll send out a new Zoom invite probably tomorrow afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Mitch.
All right, thank you, Judge.
The next case we're going to call is C2949-24-C, State of Texas versus Brandon Zamora. Speaking is correct, Mr. Zamora? Sally Conant, Mr. Zamora is present. He's English speaking.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Sally Conant.
Good afternoon.
I'm having a little problem with the video. I apologize.
We can see you. We can hear you. You're all right. Go ahead. You may proceed.
Mr. Zamora is being held on 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance. He's got $50,000 bonds on each one. Mr. Zamora does have a history of possessions. He actually, I think, went to TDC. He completed that. He's been on bond for all of his possession counts, and he's continuously shown up for court, hasn't had a problem. He has 5 children, 2 with his current wife. I've been in contact with her. She tells me that his mother passed away when he was in custody last time, and he hasn't gotten over it. He's just having a problem. She said she has $1,000, and that's total. She's not working. She has the 2 children. They're 8 and 6, her 2 children. The other children are 6, 9, and 10 that he pays child support on. He was working for Wingstop. He worked there for about a year. He lost the job when he got arrested. And we would like, Your Honor, he's not a bad guy. He shows up for court. He may have, a drug issue, but that we can deal with that later. He will do AIP if that's what the judge wants. But the only thing he can do is $1,000 according to his wife. And
Okay.
so we're asking for $5,000 on each count, $5,000 cash surety. And then he can go back to work and take care of his kids.
What says the state?
The state's recommendation is to reduce both amounts to 25,000 cash surety on both counts for a total of 50,000 cash surety.
Mr. Zamora, raise your right hand, sir. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? State your name, please. How old are you, sir?
29 years old, sir.
You have 5 children?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who are they with right now?
3 of which are with my ex-wife, and 2 of which are with my wife right now.
How do you provide for them while you're in here? You can't, right? Your attorney thinks you might have a drug problem. You picked up multiple drug charges. Are you helping your kids by doing that?
No.
You want to stay in here? Stay in here. Hopefully you get cleaned up. Is that going to help you?
No.
You're not helping yourself out there, are you? You make bonds, sir, I'm going to order random UAs. If you don't show up when they tell you, I guarantee you will be back in jail. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you come back positive for drugs or alcohol, you will be back in jail. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
What city do you currently live in, sir?
Edinburgh, Texas.
You have an address?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is it?
2617 Paseo Encantado.
Paseo
Yes, sir.
El Cantado?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a working phone number? What is it?
56-789-9178.
Sir, if you make bond, you need to stay in contact with your attorney. You will receive a letter in the mail advising you when to show up to court at the courthouse to take care of these cases and your other ones. Do you understand that? When you're posting bond, that's money that your family is taking away from your kids to get you and your drug problem out of jail. Right? Bond will be reduced to $5,000 cash surety on each count. Don't come back.
Thank you,
Anything
Your
else,
Honor.
Ms. Bennett?
No, Your Honor, that's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, we've got one more case, C 2948-24-C, State of Texas versus Vianney Arispe. You speak English, Ms. Arispe? Okay, go ahead and stand in the middle of the room here. Jonathan Ball is the attorney of record on this case. He is not present on the screen. Have you had any contact with him, Ms. Beltran?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
Do you have a recommendation on this, in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. Based on the facts of the case, the state's recommendation is no reduction. The defendant stabbed her sister with a piece of glass in the eye, hand, and leg.
What's her bonds currently set at? 100,000?
I believe so, Your
Raise your
Honor.
right hand, man. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? How old are you?
28,
What's your name? State your name.
Vinny and Arispe,
What city do you currently live in?
Fort Texas.
And what address?
913 West Park, Fort Texas, apartment 12.
Okay. The magistrate who set your bond issued a protective order. In that protective order, you're not to have any contact with Maria Arispe. How are you related? You can put your hand down. How are you related to Maria Arispe?
She's my sister.
Okay, you're not to have any contact with her. This says for 91 days. I'm going to order that you not have any contact until this case is resolved. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're also not to have any contact with Ricardo Reese. How are you related to Mr. Reese?
He's my sister's boyfriend.
Okay, you're not to have any contact with him or their four children. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're not to go within 200 yards of the address on Casa Street in Far, Texas. You're not to go within 200 yards of Far Kids Clinic. I guess it's in a place of employment, nor the school where I guess these are nephews, where they attend. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you drive by there and they report that they see you there, you will be arrested. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
They will give you a copy of this protective order when you're released. So there's no excuse. I'm telling you now, the magistrate told you don't have a copy. You're not to possess any firearms or communicate with them or any of their family members in any harmful manner. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor. Are you going to put me on house arrest?
Just a minute.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're not to have any contact in person or electronic communication, social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, any of that. Do you understand me? I get reports that you're sending messages through any one of those means, you will be back in jail. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
These were all ordered by the magistrate. He also imposed curfew. You were supposed to be home by 10 p.m. I'm going to change that to 8 p.m. and not leave the house any earlier than 7 a.m. Do you work, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where do you work?
I work at Jack in the Box.
How long have you been working there?
And the one in farm for a year,
What do you do there?
cashier and drive through.
Failure to comply with any of these conditions, you will be back in jail. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Bond will be forfeited. Are you married?
I have a boyfriend.
Are you married to him?
No, sir.
Okay, that's what I asked you, if you're married, right? You have children?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many?
3
Where are they now?
at the house with him,
Who's taking care of them?
Mr. Coy.
This is your boyfriend?
Yes, Your Honor.
Same thing I told the other individual. You able to take care of them from in here?
No, sir.
No, you're not, right?
No, sir.
Does she have any prior history? Criminal history?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor, she has a total of 10 arrests. She does have a misdemeanor record. This would be her first felony.
Are you currently on probation or parole?
On probation, but I got off of it good. thing.
When did you finish?
Like 2 weeks ago.
When you picked up this charge? Right. Just a reminder, there is a protective order, there is a curfew, so no contact with the victims, you understand? Or their family members. Is that clear? Bond will be reduced to $10,000 cash surety.
Okay, Your Honor.
We'll come back. Thank you, Ms. Beltran.
Your Honor, may I
Great
be?
job.
Thank you.
Yes, you may be excused. Thank you.